This is the second part in a series of videos I'm doing on how to use Zoom specifically, since we'll be using this, many schools will be using this as that means to actually have those live sessions with your students. The first video, we looked at how do you actually set up a meeting using the Zoom interface. In this, I want to look at the Zoom actual meeting, look at some settings that you might want to choose, as well as just what you're able to do with it. Okay, so hi, I'm Evan. Welcome to the Canvas Tutorial Show. Let's get started. So I've already started a meeting, and notice that I'm using a test account student. I'm not going to start video just because then you would see me twice. Hello, but we don't want that. And so what I'm going to do though is I'm going to go to another computer real quick, and I'm going to hit Start Meeting, because I've sent this link, and let's see if it comes in just right. All right, so the first thing that you notice is that I have set a waiting room. And so you want to use the waiting room because that allows me as the teacher or the person leading the meeting to decide when somebody comes in. So I'm going to click See Waiting Room, and notice that it comes up in a pop-up like this. Now the reason why it's doing a pop-up is that I'm in full screen. If I exit full screen, notice that it attaches to the side of the window. I actually prefer this, so I'm going to leave it like this because I like this being over here and this being over here. So, I can see Evan Bramer is trying to come in, and so I can decide, do I want to remove him? No, you don't get to come in. Do I want to admit him? Or I can actually message him as well, and I can say everyone in their waiting room. So if you look down here on the right, just a second, I'll let you in soon. And so maybe that's for students that somehow have got this link and they're coming into or if you use the same link for multiple classes, that kind of thing. And so that gets sent over here, and I'm looking over here and the message is popping up and saying I'm in the waiting room. And so now let's go ahead and let me in, admit. Okay, and there we go. All right, now I'm going to leave the camera off on that one as well. Let's, we need to turn audio off as well. So let's mute, there we go. And stop video. All right, so this will just be so that we can see both. And look at that, my camera stops working. Isn't that silly? And so let's see if we can get it back. There we go. Welcome to the production process. So let's look at Zoom, okay? I'm gonna make myself a little bit bigger, and we're gonna go into the middle. So first off, what we have here is the Zoom client, okay? Regardless of where you schedule your meetings, inside your calendar, inside your Google Class, inside Zoom interface, it's going to send you here. There is a way for students or even you to load Zoom directly in the browser, and that when the pop-up comes up when you start meeting and it says open in Zoom. If you look on the page right there, it actually says join with browser. So that is a possibility for students if necessary, but most are going to use the interface here. Let's go over some of the key aspects. First, if you look down here where I'm circling with my mouse, you can control what microphone you use, as well as, muting and unmuting yourself. Cool tip is that if everybody's muted, and you can teach your students this, that if you just hit the space bar, it make sure I click on here. It temporarily, why is it not working? It should be working. There we go. That's interesting. I had to be in full screen mode, but notice that it's temporarily unmuted. I'd never seen that before. Let's exit and let's see if it does that. Even if I've clicked here, and yes, okay, so it is working. As long as you've clicked on the interface, you can temporarily unmute, and that's going to work. Okay. Next, let's look at. I'm just going to send a quick message. Let's look at the next part, which is video. Okay. And so same thing with audio. You're able to click here and you can choose what different camera you want and that kind of thing. I want to point out the virtual backgrounds. Now, some will choose to allow virtual backgrounds and some will choose not to. Virtual backgrounds are going to make a student's data usage go up, as well as the speed that it's working at. So if you have allowed virtual backgrounds, but things aren't working very well, you can just turn it off and tell them to stop using them. But you can choose different backgrounds, and these can actually be set at the the admin level. So what these are, as well, if they hit the little plus here, you can add an image or video. Be careful, students can be naughty about that, and so you may not want to allow that. Okay, so next let's go ahead and click out of here, and let's go back here to where it says video, sorry. And you can see that there's this video settings button, and that takes us back to exactly where we just were. Okay, so let's quickly run through some of the settings that you might set here. Okay, so looking at general, if you use dual monitors, you can click that. Enter full screen when starting or joining a meeting, and so that again makes it go full screen. You can unclick that. This is your personal setting. Okay, automatically copy invite link once the meeting starts. If you are going to share that link out like in that moment, that might be a setting that you choose. Ask me to confirm when I leave a meeting. I would leave that checked just because that makes sure that you don't accidentally close a meeting. I really like this right here, which is the show my meeting duration, and look at this part right there. And so that's going to load or unload that that setting so that you can then or load or start or stop that timer, so you can actually see how long is your meeting going. Specifically, like if you're supposed to teach for a certain amount of time or have proctor for a certain amount of time, that could be very helpful. The rest of these you can look through. They're not really necessary, but they add links to whatever. Let's look at video settings. There I am again. You can enable HD. Remember, if you enable HD, that uses more bandwidth, which means that if you have people that are on slower connections, it's going to make it a lot harder. And so you might not want to do that, but that just makes it a higher quality image. Okay, and then you can change the camera and so on and so forth. Touch up appearance, choose what you want to do with that. You can see that it's smoothing out my beautiful skin, but I want my wrinkles and everything, so we're going to leave that there. Here, always display participant name on their videos. I would encourage that because that makes it so that if you are looking at, say, the grid view, which like right here, if I go to gallery view, there's only 2 people, 1, 2, but if let's say we had 20, it would have 20 in here. It actually displays who that person is, which is going to make it a lot easier for you to see it. For teachers, I would not encourage you to hide non-video participants. That might be a lot of your class, and so I would not check that. Spotlight my video when speaking. That is what so not this video, this is my Loom video, but let's say that we have this in speaker view. When I'm talking, it is going to show me. So I'm Canvas student right now. But so if hi, I'm talking blah, 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 blah. But now watch this. If I come over here and I unmute my other one, hi. Notice that it changed over there. And so what it does is it changes the screen based off of who is talking, and I can show you that again. So let's do live. Okay, so hello, spotlight. Okay, and then over here, turn on video. Hello. Okay, and so it changed over there. Okay, obviously funky, and I have. Oh, cameras were breaking down again, so that's okay. We'll just turn it off for now. So let's continue with where we're at here. I'm going to stop video. So we looked at the audio and video. Let's look at security. Click on security, and you can see that you can lock the meeting. That is going to make it so that nobody else can join. I don't really think that's necessary if you have the waiting room, so because then you can choose who comes in at whatever time. Again, you can change that setting, enable waiting room. One of the things that Zoom does is it actually has redundancies. It has the same option in multiple places, and so you can change that setting here. You can also change it other places. Here, allow participants to share screen. Okay, this is up to you. Oftentimes teachers will make somebody a co-host. That's dangerous because that gives them more functionality than you want. If you just want them to be able to share screen, you can click that. You can click it here. You can change it here, advanced sharing, and where you can change it to all participants. And so that, again, there are multiple places. I'm going to turn that off. If you do not want the chat, so let's click on chat. Okay, we already had it up right over here. You can see that there's chat going on here, and I can say to private messages, or everyone in the meeting, hello. Can't spell. Okay, well, I can turn that off, and I can just say right here, security, turn off chat. So now, if they over here try to chat, I'm going to try to chat. It's not coming up. I can't type in there. Okay, so that was on the other user, and you couldn't see me doing that. Let's look at rename themselves. So I leave that on just so that if they came in and they were being silly and they put a silly name, they so that they can fix it. So they come in and they put their name as, you know, Batman or whatever. You can ask them to fix it. To remove a participant, you click here, and it's going to allow you to right here on the upper right. You can choose to remove them, and I'm going to undo that. Or cancel right there. And you can also click on the more button and you can hit remove. So you can do that manually. You don't have to do it. Again, redundancies. Next, report. This is going to report something to Zoom itself. You don't really need that. Let's click on this participant button real fast. Okay, so look at the right side of my screen right here. And again, if you have it full screen, it's going to be a pop-up. But what that's doing is it's showing you who's in the meeting. And what I love is it adds these functionalities. I just had a class with some of my 8th graders, and we use these, yes or no, and you can see that it's changing right here. And I just did a simple poll. We played a game of Would You Rather just so that they can learn this, and we used yes for the first option and no for the second option, and then I was able to clear all so that it gets rid of all of them. So if I said, okay, hey guys, what's your preference? You know, do you prefer, let's say, pizza or spaghetti, pizza being first, they would go yes or no. And so it gives your students a way, or your other meeting participants a way to give you feedback. If you hit more, you can see that there's also thumbs up, thumbs down, as well as clap. Because I'm the meeting host, I can't do this, but they also have a raise the hand function. So that's really effective if you want to be able to have them give feedback to you that, hey, I want to pop in on the conversation while not interrupting. And you can hit clear all, and it's going to clear all those. Some data right here, invite, you click that and you're going to be able to copy the link for the meeting, as well as, and that's just the link, or you can hit copy invitation. It's going to copy that whole long list of information. Next, you can see you can mute all participants. Okay, and it says they're all muted right now. So everybody's muted, and then you can unmute all the participants, and we'll mute it again. Okay, and then right here, hold on. Do that again. So you can see that it says allow participants to unmute themselves. You can actually unclick that. So now students or other participants cannot unmute themselves. Totally up to you. I'm going to leave that there. All right. And then right here on the more, you can see that some of those things that are in those other places, like enable waiting room, lock meeting, so on, is there as well. A different one is right here. It says play enter exit chime. And so when somebody enters the room, it can play a ding so that you know, and so you can set that or not. So that's up to you. We've already looked at chat a little bit, but again, you can set it to where they, right here, you can say who can they participate with? No one. Just you, so they can message you privately, or they can chat with everybody, and so they'll be able to actually choose different people. They can click on people's names, and it will change down here, and they can chat with them individually. Use that wisely. Okay. Looking at the share screen again, you can set multiple participants to share at the same time, but I would probably suggest that you keep it at one participant at a time. That way you don't have it. As well, if you click on the advanced sharing, you can say who can start sharing when someone else is sharing. You should say only host, because that will prevent any of your students or whatever from taking over that sharing function from somebody else. And so if you have a student sharing and you want to let another student share, then you can just say, okay, go ahead and stop sharing before the next one goes. And so I would encourage you to keep that closed. We're going to skip closed caption. Let's talk about breakout rooms real fast. A breakout room is like a Zoom within a Zoom. And so if you want students to be able to, let's say 3 of you are going to go over here and discuss this concept, or maybe you're using this for testing, and so you have one master Zoom session, and then you're going to have like individual teachers working with other, with groups of students, you would use this. You could do it automatically and choose the number of breakout rooms that you want, or you could do it manually and actually choose which person goes in the breakout room. So like right here, I have this breakout room, and so I'm going to assign Evan to that breakout room. Okay, and then I would open a room and it would kick him out to that room. Now, I can also change some settings here. So for example, I can move all the participants into the breakout rooms automatically. I can prevent them from coming back in. I can do it only for a certain amount of time. It's totally up to me. I'm not going to use the breakout rooms right now. I will say on a policy level, I would encourage you not to do a breakout room for any students by themselves. And so students need to be supervised. And so don't put your 6, 8-year-olds in a breakout room by themselves without a teacher. A couple more things. Look at reactions down here. This is similar to here. Okay, so you see more. Again, that redundancy. You got thumb up and you've got clap. They put those two down here. I'm not sure, and I'll have to look on the student interface or the other interface to see if it does. But if all of the other reactions are here as well, or if it's just these two, just like mine. But I have no idea why they have all these here and not all of them there. That seems weird to me, but let's move on. More, and these are just some things that you can do this like live messaging and stuff like that on Facebook. Up here, you can see that you got the enter full screen or exit full screen. Again, you can see the time there, and then you can change the view from gallery view or speaker view. If you're full screen, you can, what happens is the gallery view will, or the speaker view will sit on top, and you can actually go to just the speaker or everybody in the meeting. You can do gallery view inside here as well. There's a lot of options. Okay, so that has been the basic. I'm going to end this meeting, and again, sorry, you can't. We'll just do this right here, and we'll go to speaker view. Nope, we will go there, and why do I have exit full screen? And what did I do? See, even I make mistakes. It's on speaker view. Good. And, not sure why it's doing both right now. It should be doing just one. Oh, there you go. Oh, because I'm not unmuted. There you go. And so there we go. So anyways, that's the Zoom interface. This is about a 22-minute video. I hope that it's been helpful. Play around with the settings. You're going to want to turn some things off, turn some things on and some things off depending on your situation. But cheers.